So here's transmitter setup. You want to select the Heli program. You want to select switch type as single servo. All the servo reversing has to be on normal. Make sure you do not adjust any trims. All the trims has to be centered. And even when you're flying, you do not adjust any trims on your transmitter. All the trimming has to be done in your software. So if the tail is facing away from you, I marked the cyclic servos. The right hand side I marked roll 1, the left hand side roll 2. It's a 120-degree angle switch plate. Okay, so let's look at the wiring diagram. This side is the receiver, that's your receiver, that's your CC3D controller, and these are your servo outputs. CC3D has port 1 to 8, so 1 to 8 inputs are these inputs right here. So these inputs are wired to the receiver on this side. Basically, you want your throttle to number 3, aileron to number 4, elevator to number 5, rudder number 6, gear number 7, and auxiliary 1 goes to number 8. Here it says elevator servo is the back servo right here. It is wired to port number 1. Roll 1 is wired to port number 2. Roll 2 is 3. Your tail servo is 4. And your speed controller is 5. And 6, no connection, it's open. So that's how the wiring diagram. You want to keep both side linkages are exactly the same length, and also these linkages right here, all the 3 linkages has to be exactly the same length. Do not adjust the linkage. When you're setting it up, you want to have these servo arms 90 degrees to the servo. If they are not, you have to take the screw out and correct all 3 servos as much as you can. Have it for 90 degrees before you do the final adjustments. On vehicle setup, you need to pick helicopter as your vehicle, engine, channel 5, tail rotor, channel 4, the 3 servos, channel 1, 2, 3, and depending on where you have your first servo, you can select either rear, front, so it depends on your helicopter config. Switch plate angles also depending on your helicopter config. Make sure you have your collective pass-through checked. Then we go into switch plate. Make sure you have your CCPM 3 servo config based on your helicopter settings. Most of the time 120 degrees. So again, you can select how you want to config your switch plate. Curve settings and other settings are default. If your helicopter is shaking violently or shaking too much, you might want to reduce the gain in here. And if you do that, after you click save, your helicopter will stop responding to your transmitter controls. So what you want to do, you go on to switch plate leveling and click on CCPM down arrow, select CCPM 140 degrees, and then go back in here and select CCPM 120 degrees and select save. This is a bug in the software. which CC3D is not currently working on how to fix it. So that's the way around. This is a very important step if you have to change anything in this page. Now we look at the input configuration. Here I have mapped all my throttle, roll, pitch and yaw and flight mode and collective. Channel number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Also you can see here I have my PWM ranges. I have set these numbers according to my transmitter, so you probably have to set the minimum and maximum according to your transmitter. Also you might have to reverse some channels. Don't do any reversing on your transmitter. Every configuration has to be done on this page. Now after you've done all the configuration, you want to do a transmitter calibration. Make sure all the channels responds to the corresponding channel. Also one other thing, make sure your collective channel number 6, the minimum, the maximum, or like about 2 seconds higher than the minimum. So that's an important thing. And make sure you have your ranges. So you can see all the controls are moving very rapidly. So you move your sticks to their extreme ends. So I'll go with the rudder. You can see the yaw is moving, and then collective, up and down, and then this is roll, the roll, and then pitch. So that's your transmitter calibration.